Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my very first episode of Pulling Back the Curtain. I'm so excited to launch this. Let me tell you the truth. Let's be real for a second. I don't really know what I'm doing with this whole thing, but you know what? I am excited and I am learning how to video edit. Basically, what I wanted to do, what prompted this, I feel like I had a story to tell myself behind the scenes, and I know that every other skater does too. So I wanted to give performers and staff members, basically everyone behind the scenes of Disney on Ice and any kind of live entertainment, the opportunity to tell their story and how they came to be who they are and how they got to where they are with performing live in front of thousands of people and what that does for them, what kind of makes them tick behind being a show skater. And I just wanted to give them the opportunity to tell their story to everyone. So here we are on our first episode, and I present to you Abi Walker. Let me tell you a little bit about Abi before we jump into it. And ow, my arm hurts. Okay. Talk about being real, am I right? Abi Walker was my very first friend on tour. I was so nervous when I came on. It was my first year. It was her first year as well. I gotta tell you the truth, like, we didn't even really care for each other when we first met each other. She was stealing my thunder, and here Abi comes along and she's just stealing it because she is just pure sunshine gold. We ended up being forced to room together, and both of us were kind of like, okay, this is gonna go one or two ways. We're either gonna get along and click, or we are going to hate each other. And this is gonna be a long tour. Turns out, she ended up becoming one of my very best friends. We got to know each other for who we are, and as you will find out in this video, or as a lot of you already know, she is a happy, bubbly, beautiful person inside and out. Her personality just shines. You can spot her from not even across the room, but probably in a whole other building. She's an amazing person, to say the least. I'm so excited for you guys to get to know her through this video. This next 20-30 minutes or so is Abi's spotlight, and I'm excited for you guys all to get to know her and see where she's from and who she is. So I hope you enjoy my very first episode of Pulling Back the Curtain. Let's get to it. I'm gonna go to the computer because I'm gonna go watch myself. Okay, bye. Hope you enjoy.
My name is Abi Walker, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I played Snow White during Disney on Ice Presents Frozen, and I played Tinkerbell during Disney on Ice Presents Mickey's Search Party. I was with the build on that one, so it was pretty special, and Tinkerbell was my favorite character ever, and just all the glitter. So I was pretty psyched for it. So.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. What was your reaction when you found out that you were gonna play Tink?
Well, I was actually talking to Judy. We were talking about some opportunities and stuff, and she was like, just wait. I think you're going to be pretty excited about what you're going to be doing, like what's in future for you. And like, this was during the build, like where we hadn't found out our tracks yet. I got fitted for a fly harness. I was the only one who got fitted, and I was like, what? I called my mom, and I was like, I think I'm going to be Tinkerbell. Oh my gosh. Like, I was crying. My favorite character, and like, it was so late in the game that when I presented Tinkerbell to Judy during Frozen, Judy's eyes lit up when she talked to me about it. It was just a blessing. Like, I wanted that character so bad. So yeah. It was great.
What was it like to play her for the first time?
Because I wanted to do the character justice, and I wanted to be correct, and like, I got no direction. When we were building and Patty and Cindy were giving like cues and just kind of like different character cues and different stuff, Patty was just like, you have good instinct, do whatever you want. I was just like, I don't know what that means, and so I asked some former Tinks, or like some people who were playing understudies on their past shows, about like some character traits and stuff, and then I just kind of took that. As soon as I kind of started finding my own character with Tinkerbell, it was like I was with a best friend, we were just getting into trouble like all the time and being really cute and innocent about it and being like, oh, it wasn't me.
And it fits your personality so well. Like I was there when
you auditioned for, and it was just like,
Yeah.
yep, that's her. Like, that is literally who she is. It looked so fitting on you. I don't even remember you working on it a whole bunch before you did it. Like, it just clicked for you.
I love her character, and I've always looked up to her sass, but at the same time, she's still sweet. She wears her emotions on her sleeves, and that's very fitting to me as well. And I connected with her. I loved pre-show, because during pre-show, Tinkerbell would go out in the audience and like play around with the audience and play around with the pirates. So I would always like mess with the pirates, and while they're trying to look for Tinkerbell and capture Tinkerbell's wand, and I'm just like, please, you can't get me. I play little tricks on the audience or glittered the pirate if you ever got too close to me. So it was, it was really fun. And that's where I made a lot of connections with the audience and was able to establish that interaction. When you're on the ice, it's very different when you can catch an eye and make a connection like that. But like when you're right there in person with them, it's pretty amazing.
Before you came on Disney on Ice, you sang in Nashville, and so you did lots of singing, and you're very good at it, I must say. Lots of rides, playing karaoke, and Carrie Underwood, Tori Kelly just blasting, and we were just killing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember those car rides.
Oh, no, me too. But yeah, so you were like, you were singing, you were doing cheerleading. Weren't you in gymnastics at some point too? Like, you can like do gymnastic kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, so my whole past, like I was in cheerleading and gymnastics when I was super young, like 6, 7, 5. But that gave me a really good foundation. And I was actually a mixed martial artist for 10 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, second degree black belt in Kempo. And then I
honestly don't even think I even knew that. Like,
yeah, really?
Okay. Yes, you're always surprising me.
Yeah, I will kick your booty. That's not just an act. And then with figure skating, I sang, but like it was just always for fun. So I never really had training. I just was lucky enough to make friends on Broadway, or my family made friends on Broadway. So, musicians would just pull me up whenever they'd see me in the bar, and, it'd be fun. Right now, it's probably buying her something. And also, when your mom came down to Nashville and killed it, like, I still talk about Stacey. Stacey!
Oh my God.
Fran's mom can sing like no other. Oh my gosh, if you haven't heard her, you need to.
Thanks.
Either way.
I love that shout out.
Stacey!
I have to put a little like clip of video of her singing so people don't.
Please. Oh my gosh, please. I'd be honored. And then I went to college. I studied movement science and kinesiology with a little concentration in intraoperative neuromonitoring. So that was really cool. Graduated a year early because I wanted to perform and I knew it. Tried out for Disney and just kind of like crossed my fingers and I got it.
So you're obviously like used to being in the spotlight and everything, but how would you differentiate the spotlight with like singing in bars in Nashville, which is like an awesome crowd in Nashville? What is the difference between that kind of spotlight versus, huge crowds and like skating and stuff like that? How is that different? How did that like impact you?
So I get super nervous when I sing because like I've never had any training with it, and also it's just not my comfort zone. Like I love it and it's something so personal to me, but singing in a bar, way scarier than like performing for thousands of people. When you're on stage in an arena, you don't see all those people. And especially with the lights on us, we'll see the first couple of front rows, and you can really play with them and like make that connection there. I did another contract for contortion. I was in an amusement park. I was in an ambiance kind of thing. I always wanted to be like, I've got to show everyone that I can do everything. Like, it's so personal. It's so right there. Yeah. I mean, I had some good experiences and some bad experiences. Like preteen boys are not always the most respectful. Either way, like, I guess the spotlight just is very different when you can be on that personal level with these people who are watching. And there are some amazing moments too. Like there was this little girl and she could not stop watching us performers. Like there were 4 different performers, me doing contortion, one girl doing acro pole, another girl being a hip hop dancer, and another one being a roller skater. And she would go around to all of us and just watch us for like hours. And she was maybe 3 years old. Like, it was adorable, and her parents would just stand there. She would try to dance with us. That's where it's so precious, and that's where it's really amazing. I did another contract for another amusement park, but for figure skating, and I met this girl, and she was so talented at everything, and she wanted to be a figure skater. So she really looked up to me, and like I got close with her and her mom, and it was really cool to be able to establish that connection versus when you're in an arena playing, especially such a well-known franchise, you know, having those standards, you can't really personalize it that much, and you can't, you know, and keeping contact with the audience members is a little, it just doesn't really happen. You know, you meet them in a fleeting pass and, you know, then you're gone the next week versus like when you're at a sit-down contract like I was, you know, for 6 weeks, that person kept coming back every weekend, and so you could establish that friendship.
How do you feel when you know that Disney or with your aerial and like acrobat, how does it feel knowing that you have impacted so many lives on so many different levels without even being able to like talk to them, but just knowing that you impact so many people?
It's a high that you'll never be able to find in any other place. Like, it feels good for you, but the best part is knowing that you did something for someone else. You just made someone's dream come true. Like, and it's so rewarding because, you know, the day-to-day tasks that get really, they can get boring or a little draining and stuff like that. It makes everything melt away, and you realize, like, this is the moment. This is why I do what I do. This is why I'm here, and this is why I signed my contract, and I'm going to keep doing it. You know, when you're at an office job, I don't really know, I've never been in an office job, but like, I don't think you get that little girl or little boy, or heck, even the parents, like looking to you like a superstar, and like you're inspiring them to do whatever they want to do, because there's more than just, you know, going to get groceries. There's more than just sitting down watching TV. Like, it's something that can really inspire you to get into your dreams and make you so proud of yourself. When I'm doing privates, because I do privates with like stretching and aerial lessons, and I actually just did one with a guy, he is my friend, and he was telling me, like, I saw you doing what you did, and it inspired me to be more than myself. And I was just practicing, you know, and so he came over, he did some aerial, and he was like, I'm so proud of myself. I feel this amazing rush inside that you helped me do what I haven't ever been able to do and didn't even realize I could do. I remember feeling that way when I used to watch performances, and I was always competitive, and I was like, I should be up on that stage. I can do it. I know I can do it. Like, give me some time. I'll do it.
Oh, like, that's still in you. I don't think that'll ever leave. Like, when I first met you, and I, like, that's the first thing that I saw was, like, that, like I could do that. Like, I can get so competitive and so dedicated. Like, you'll see where you want to go, and you will, like, just work and work and work and work until you get there. And I just need to say, because these people, they don't know my experience with you, and I have so many. I need to say that, like, you started aerial on Frozen the first year, I believe, right? Like, I think you went to like your first couple classes or something, or you might have done it in the past, but you really kind of got into it on that first year when we were on tour together. But I've literally watched you from the very beginning to where you are now, and it's like, every time I watch your videos on Instagram, I show everyone. I'm like, hello, stranger, look at my friend, look at her.
Oh my gosh,
I love her. That's my friend. I don't know, it is inspiring. Like, I know what those people are doing when they go up to you and they see, like, because it's the work ethic, it's so visible, and it's like, it's the drive behind what you do. You wear it on your sleeve, and it's just like admirable, because in this day and age, really hard to find. I find like a lot of people are, you know, kind of couch potatoes, and they're like, that would be cool to do, but then they like never do it, you know? And it's hard to find the people like you where they're like, no, I'm gonna do that because I can, because they did, so I'm gonna do it too. But I also want to get into like, you know, hotel experiences.
Oh yes.
Traveling around the world, you're living in hotels with two 50-pound suitcases and a carry-on if you want, whatever. And
Two carry-on. Well, a personal item and a carry-on.
Yeah. Which, I guess we know well. I should know that. But there's a lot of interesting stories along the lines of hotel experiences. Is there any in particular that pop out to you?
Oh my goodness. So I didn't realize that a hotel was going to become my home for 2 years. And like, it's so crazy when you go from city to city and you're just like, okay, what's my hotel room number? I don't remember anymore. So you just go to like a bunch of floors and you're like, I think this was my hotel room. Oh no, that was last week. Like, it's so funny. Let's see. I know I've been talking about this. It just like recently came up when you and I were rooming together, or we were watching a movie together in the hotel room, and then a bird hit our window and we were watching a horror movie. Like, I think it was The Conjuring 2, and we were like, ah! Like, so scary. So scary. Like, there was a streak and everything. And then like 2 weeks later, I was down in Florida visiting a friend, and I was watching something alone in the hotel room, and another bird hit my window and left like feathers on it. I was like, I called you and I was like, Ram, like, help! I was in a hotel then too, and it's in Pittsburgh. We were staying in a hotel. It was really, really nice, but it was haunted. So that was cool. Some of my friends and I, we all kind of got together and went ghost hunting, because like the 22nd and 23rd floors were completely off limits, but like those were the haunted floors. So we went up there and kind of maybe got onto the roof, who knows. And we didn't find anything, but it was really fun, and like just being able to like play around, because we found another group of people from our tour doing the same thing, but we didn't know that. And so like we heard things upstairs and we're like, oh my goodness. And then we got up there and it was like Antoine. And I was like, Antoine! Just having girls' nights in hotel rooms, being able to connect and bond with the other skaters or crew, a lot of spa nights and like game nights too, people coming over, cooking dinners in a electric skillet that we did not have. Never. Never. No. We eat microwave food all the time, even when there's not a microwave or a fridge in the hotel. It's fine. Gosh, I remember in Detroit, we were having a game night and or a math night, and like my French friend had just gotten white pants, and I accidentally spilled I was over 21, but I accidentally spilled red wine on his pants, and he like looked at me and like he's my love. I love him so much. He looked at me and was like, Abi, because I was his name for me, and I was like, I'm so sorry. So like there are 8 of us teaming together, like looking up ways to get red wine out of white pants on the internet, and like all of us just stacked inside this tiny hotel bathroom, all piled on top of each other, like taking up the full mirror. There's so many, like 3-item party from tour where everyone picks 3 items out of like a hat and you have to make a full outfit out of it, and like having a party just for fun, just for bonding. And it's really cool being able to live in a hotel. If you're bored, you just text a friend and be like, hey, can I come over? And it's like, sure. And then it's like 3 steps down the hallway. Yeah, you're never alone, which is good and a bad thing, but mostly good.
How do you feel it was traveling for so long, for 8 months or 9 months on the road with just like 40 people in your cast?
Yeah.
Plus the crew, but including the cast, it's like 40 people. I mean, it differs on different shows, but how was that for you?
I enjoyed it. I love traveling, and I really didn't mind living in hotel rooms, but traveling with the same people, like even though you love them, you really do become a family, because it is like you love each other. You guys see each other all the time, in your best, in your worst, when you're having bad days, good days, doesn't matter. And like maybe you get a break from people like 2 days of the week, even though you love each other and you know that there's a connection, especially working with each other and such in a high pressured on stage, like in the quote unquote public eye, but it's really not. You're in the audience eye, whatever. Yeah. Tensions can rise and like there's friction sometimes. And especially towards the end of a tour, you're just like, I love you all, but I don't want to see your faces for like a month. It's so cool to have family all over the world as well. I can't name all the countries, but I have friends in.
Do you know how many countries you've traveled to altogether touring?
So I've only done domestic tours.
Right.
So that's like US, Canada, and Mexico, which I've done all of those, but I haven't gotten out overseas. I'm waiting for a contract that's going to take me, so I can't wait.
It will. Europe is amazing. So what are some highlights that you'll hold on to for the rest of your life, or lessons, let's say, that you've learned on tour or just as a performer in general that you'll hold on to for the rest of your life?
Ooh, I have so many. Well, one of them, and thanks to you actually, like when I got injured, I dislocated my collarbone, and I was sent home, and just having started my performing career, and there was some personal stuff going on as well. Like I felt so defeated. You were the one who really inspired me and was like, you know what, take that anger, take that frustration, take that sadness, and you need to switch it into a fire and light it under your booty and like get going and get your motivation back and like just fall to the wall determined. Yeah. That's really been a lesson. So thank you, Brianne.
Wow, thank you.
But that's definitely been a lesson that I've taken to heart, and it really was a paradigm shifter. Instead of just letting bad situations get you down and then you have to abide by that. No, you got to take the situation into your own hands and you twist it into some way that's going to motivate you and be better for you. That's definitely a lesson I learned. There's definitely this one time in Frozen when I was playing Snow White and I was up on the pod, which is like our little stage thing that's off the ice but still on the ice. Weird. I was waving to the crowd and I just hear like these two little voices in like, Snow White, Snow White. I turn my head, I wave to them, and then they look at me, they both like, ah! And then they look at each other and they go, ah! Like, it was so cute. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I just smiled and waved to them, you know? It was so cute. Let's see. Oh, there was a special needs man, and he was there with his mom, and he had sent a letter backstage to Tinkerbell and saying that like Tinkerbell was his favorite character. He wanted to ask Tinkerbell to marry him, but his mom said that Tinkerbell can't marry people, but Tinkerbell could be the forever girlfriend, and he actually made a little ring. It was so adorable, and my mom wrote a letter as well to Tinkerbell just explaining everything and just like being so sweet, and asked if Tinkerbell could somehow come through and take a picture or something, like have some interaction. And so I went during pre-show and I spent a lot of time with him, and it was like when he saw Tinkerbell, his face, he started crying. It was just so sweet. He had this poster too, and I think it said like, I can't remember if it said, "Will you marry me, Tinkerbell?" or something like that. It was adorable. Throughout the show, I made sure to give him extra love and give him extra attention and stuff like that, and it really was just amazing. And like the mom sent back a note after the show and was just like, thank you so much, you impacted him. It was so amazing being able to go to different cities where you hear the love of these characters. Like in Miami, when Mickey came out, we couldn't hear the track. We couldn't hear anything because it was just deafening roars. And like all of us performers looked at each other on stage and we were like, whoa! Like, just to hear that love and really know that we're not quote unquote making a difference. We are, and we're these people experiences. And even though the people in Florida can probably go to Disney World, when we were in Mexico or when we were on the border of Texas, those people can't really go to Disney World or Disneyland and get that experience. So when they go to Disney on Ice, it's like going to Disney World for them, it's that emotional.
I just forgot that was happening just and what else happened?
I'm like, this is what performing is. I love it. I can't even explain.
There's nothing else like it. Like it's
really not.
That, like I say, what sticks with you about it, but honestly, it all does. It's the lifestyle, I think, that will just stay with you in your heart. You'll just like tell your kids about it, tell everyone about it. This is an interesting question that I have because so many skaters, or just anyone who do sports, they really, and I'm guilty for it, but they attach themselves to that identity. So say you grow up figure skating.
I'm a figure skater.
Exactly. Yeah. You literally think like your whole identity is, I'm a figure skater. That's who I am. That's what I am. That's all I do. But I know we all kind of get into like situations where you have to pull away from that and you're like, oh, who am I without performing? Who am I without this?
Yes.
So my question, my dear, to you
is,
who are you without skating or fitness or, the glam, the glitter, the aerial? Who are you without all of that?
I don't know. My life has really...
answer. I feel that.
I was taught early that attaching yourself to one image can really, I don't want to say mess you up, but can really influence you if you do have to pull away or unexpectedly something happens, like an injury or something where you can't pursue that anymore. And then you're like, that identity crisis. I did relate to myself as I am the figure skater, but when I made the transition to circus, I felt a little bit of that identity crisis. I'm like, I don't know who I am. Like, what am I? And just kind of going from being a professional to being an absolute beginner in a whole new field. I guess I don't really know myself without fitness or anything, because that's where I thrive and that's what I love and that's what sparks my happiness, like other than my family and my friends and stuff like that. But that's how I give love to the world and that's how I give love to others. So when I was transitioning through circus and becoming a beginner, that was probably my most identity crisis, because it was so humbling and so modest, because I was like, I don't know anything and I'm not used to this. This is weird. So it was more so just opening my eyes really to the world and being able to learn new things and learn from different people and learn a whole new culture, because circus is a very different culture than skating, and even performing is different, you know? So it's been a huge learning curve. And if I had to take away circus and take away everything fitness, I feel like I would go more, I have to have something to, I don't want to say attach myself to, but I have to have something that gives me motivation and gives me drive for myself to feel like have a purpose. And so I would definitely go more into psychology and neuroscience. My degree is movement science and intraoperative neuromonitoring, and that's all in that field, because that's also something that gives me life and is something that's just super interesting to me, because I want to help other people learn how to better themselves from the inside out and using just logic. Like, I guess a lot of my movement science has gone into my coaching as well, and it's really helped me help other people.
I feel like as humans, you feel like you need a sense of purpose in order to feel like you're doing something in the world, you're contributing somehow. And
right.
When you're grown up an athlete in anything, that's what you do. Like, that's just it.
Yeah.
That's
how you relate to the world.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that's how, when we all come together in like a tour aspect, we get so close to each other because we all have that in common.
Exactly. Like, that's why I think performers get so tight knit, because you are all sharing something that's so personal and so impactful, and yet it really is a certain type of mindset or a certain type of lifestyle that you have to live that's completely different than the norm. People complain about being away from home for like 2 weeks. When they come back, they're like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I have so much stuff to do. And you're like, I was gone for 9 months. Let's go. Like,
my last question, and this is totally off topic, completely out there. If you could sit and talk and have a conversation with anybody, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. Goodness, who do I look up to? Like, who is my... I don't know. Honestly, it's probably Sigmund Freud, because as weird as that is, 1950s psychology.
Oh my God, really?
Because I think his theories are so interesting, and even though I don't believe in all of them, I think sometimes they have a little bit of truth. It would be interesting just to hear how he sees the world, because he really created a whole new branch of psychology that is very different, and I'm not saying I agree with it or not. I would love to see that side, see someone's brain in that way, because it's just a different perspective, a different paradigm. I want to learn it.
Thank you so much for being
here. You're amazing. You're wonderful. Give a kiss to Joey for me.
I will.
Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed my first episode of Pulling Back the Curtain featuring Abi Walker. It was pretty cool, right? Like, she's a really awesome person. She just shines. I hope you enjoyed the very first episode. Next week, we are going to have Alex Allen on. So next Wednesday, make sure you tune in, because he is another one. Personality just shines, and it's infectious, and it just makes you so excited and happy. And make sure you tune in next Wednesday to see Alex Allen, who was actually a host on one of the newer shows, Mickey's Search Party. He's got lots of really cool things to talk about. You know what? Just watch all of them, because these people are they're so cool. I'm gonna go edit some more videos, I think. Okay, cool. See you later. Bye.